Hey, yo, this is your boy Post. You're now tuned in to hoodactionnews.com. So, got a couple more news stories. How's everything going this morning for you? Now, it's a Tuesday afternoon. It's about 12:19, and I got a couple stories I want to talk about today. Now, for starters, as you can see on my thumbnail, people going crazy in Costco. So what is going on outside of Costco's? So people cross country going crazy outside of Costco's. Now, for starters, usually in this type of case, Walmart Walmart is usually the culprit of people going crazy, right? So we heard a lot of different things about Walmart's cross country, and we most definitely seeing a lot of things about Walmart's cross country. Now, I'm going to build you up and break you down. So I'm going to build everything up and break it down. The first story that I have, the first story that I have is actually going to be about a case in Seattle that happened in a Costco. So I don't know what's going on at Costco's, but the first case that I want to talk about is actually a case that happened in Seattle at a Costco in the parking lot. So let's go right into that case. Like I said, I'm going to build you up and break you down. I don't know what type of diabolical spirit is going on at Costco's, but it's something going on in the parking lots. I don't know if the devil is chilling in the parking lot pimping at Costco's, but it's a lot going on. So listen, check this out.
Seattle, where a seemingly minor traffic accident would kick off an hours-long crime spree that police say led to a 67-year-old woman being gunned down, an accused killer slipping past police, and an international manhunt taking investigators across the globe. There was simply no way for anyone here on these normally quiet streets that morning to know the chaos and tragedy that was coming. The first victim of January 26, 2024 was right here at 9th Avenue and Howe Street. She said that she got rear-ended, and when she got out to exchange information with the other driver, a man put a gun in her face, stole her car keys, and then took off in her SUV. And that's where the first video picks up. As Seattle police raced into the area, an officer's dash camera was recording when he said he saw that stolen Porsche SUV going east on Mercer Street. He zips through traffic to catch up to it and follows the car onto I-5 while radioing updates to other officers.
Checking plate 04970.
It was just south of downtown where the car swerves and then takes off. The officer attempts to follow, but he can't keep up. The carjacked Porsche gets away from police, but investigators say the suspects inside it aren't done yet. About 45 minutes later at this QFC grocery store in Normandy Park, another camera captures that Porsche SUV pull into the parking lot. The driver gets out, then the passenger, and it's here where we see a clear shot of who police identify as Salman Haji. Next to him, police say that is then 19-year-old Illis Abdi. Inside the store, police say they are using the credit card of the woman they just carjacked to buy gift cards. After a few minutes, that video shows them take the gift cards and leave, getting back into the Porsche SUV. And police say moving on to their next target. 20 minutes later and 5 miles away in Tukwila, a camera is rolling as that Porsche SUV comes into the east parking lot of a Costco. Police say Salman Haji is in the passenger seat and Illis Abdi is behind the wheel. Another camera captures these two women walking to their car with no hint of the danger they are about to face. The camera shows them load groceries as the Porsche drives by, then flips around and heads back, stopping right behind the women. This is when police say Salman Haji gets out of the car and approaches the driver to steal her purse. There's a struggle, and the passenger, 67-year-old Yuan Ming, tries to help her sister. You can't see it here, but inside the car, police say Haji hits the driver with his gun, then shoots Ming in the chest. He runs back to the Porsche and they speed off. This camera recording that stolen Porsche leaving the area. First responders raced in and tried to save Ming's life, but she died. Bystanders were in shock after what happened.
It was devastating because I could tell it was an elderly woman too. You could just tell, it's just the whole scene was just nasty.
And it looks like someone climbed over the fence right there.
Seattle police and the carjacking victim were able to use a GPS tracker to locate the Porsche in a parking lot behind a church in the city of SeaTac.
I think they wiped it down because that's dry. Dry earth. It's been rained on.
So my man right here.
They put out a police bulletin asking if.
So listen. So he murdered. So now this is an African brother, right? He murdered this lady. He murdered this Asian lady in cold blood. Now I believe this is in Seattle. So he murdered her, carjacked her in cold blood, right? And he got away. Now this dude got away. Now I did this case maybe a couple months ago, right? Now I'm going to give you an update. So there's an update. So I'm going to give you an update on this case right now. Now, my man carjacked the lady and got away. So let me give you an update. Now, mind you, this is all in Costco parking lot. This is at Costco. The title of today is Costco Going Wild, right? So this is in Costco's parking lot. So let me see if I can find the update. Let's find the update. So this is in Costco's parking lot. So let me actually find the update. And if you're just joining me, this is people going wild at Costco's. What is going on at Costco's?
Ming in the parking lot of the Tukwila Cosco. In tonight's Operation Crime and Justice Report, COMO's Jeremy Harris spoke exclusively with the FBI about their efforts to track the suspect down in Africa and what's next with the case against the men charged with murder.
From Kenya to a courtroom in Kent, Salman Haji now back in the U.S. to face murder charges for the January 2024 killing of 67-year-old Yuan Ming in Tukwila.
My mother was murdered in the public by this guy, and he should not be shielded from the public now.
Ming's family emotional in court, as this was the first time they've seen Haji.
Now, I'm gonna keep it frank for you. He shot this Asian lady, the kid on the screen right there. You see right there, African brother, right? He shot this Asian lady in cold blood, and he tried to escape to Africa, and they found his ass in Africa and brought him back. So I'm gonna repeat that again. Haji, the brother right there with the 10.
Since police say he.
So this brother right here, he killed the lady in cold blood and tried to escape to Africa, and they found his ass fresh on a zebra and brought him back to the United States, and now his ass is going to jail. Pretty much, you know what I'm saying? They got Haji fresh off the zebra, right in Kenya. You know what I'm saying? Bully, boo. They caught his ass right on the zebra and brought him back. And I'm probably going to get life in jail. Now, this is at a Costco parking lot. So let's see the conclusion here.
Fled the country after killing Ming.
He should be brought out now, and I have to see him.
Investigators say Haji was the one who pulled the trigger and shot Ming during a botched purse robbery here in the parking lot of the Costco in Tukwila. Haji's co-defendant, Illis Abdi, is the accused getaway driver in this Porsche SUV that police say was carjacked from a woman in Seattle earlier that morning. Illis Abdi was arrested months later in connection to a separate shooting, but investigators say Salman Haji quickly fled the country after Ming's death, first to Somalia and then to Kenya.
We're still dedicated to bring somebody to justice, even if it takes years.
FBI Special Agent in Charge W. Mike Harrington says agents worked with authorities in Kenya to apprehend Haji.
We worked with our legal attaché offices, both in Nairobi and The Hague, to work out the logistics of bringing this individual back to the United States. I think it was a relief to all of us that we were able to actually get him into custody.
The FBI said Haji's arrest was part of their Summer Heat initiative targeting violent offenders.
The important thing to us is that we're not giving up, no matter where they are, is that we're not giving
Heat initiative.
So listen, if you think you're gonna do a crime, and then you think Africa is an option, think again, because like I said, they caught my man fresh off the zebra. Now, this is the first case, right? That this summer, this is the first case I seen in Costco's, right? Now, there's been plenty more before, but this is the first one that I actually seen happen in Costco. And I'm like, damn, what is going on in Costco's parking lot, right? Now, like I said, is Costco's curse or what? Because when I go through this, it's a lot of different variables. You know what I mean? Now, let's go to this one. Let's proceed to the next one. Right? Now that's Costco's. Now now they caught this guy. It's an ongoing case, ongoing trial or whatever, but he's going to jail. You see them walk up and kill the lady. So it's just, he's picking out what kind of soap he wants right now, pretty much. So he's definitely going to jail. Now, let me find the next one. So now this is the latest incident at Costco's. LA standoff with pursuit suspect on Costco's parking lot. So what the hell is going on in Costco's parking lot? That's why I titled this Costco's Going Wild. So what is actually going on in Costco's parking lot? Can you tell me? I don't know. So what is going on in Costco's parking lot? Let's find out what happened in LA. Now that first one was in Seattle. It was like out Seattle, right? So let's see what's going on in LA with Costco's parking lot.
On board. Copy all. Live on YouTube, everybody just, get ready to turn your eyes away if this goes south quickly. It is an unusual one for sure. You can read what we got going on there. I'm trying to read what's on the poster board that went up as for the vehicle parked. This was a pursuit through, mostly Los Angeles. Actually, I don't think it really got into Glendale. But it ended up here at the Costco. If you're local, you're like, oh, I know exactly where that is. Everybody knows where the Costco is off of Los Feliz in the Atwater Village area. But it was that bus-looking thing that they were chasing for a while. It has a bunch of graffiti on it says something about, toxicology test on their corpse. On the side, it says something about the media, which I personally find to be interesting. I have an interest in that. LAPD, they're not finding any of this amusing at all. You can see the number of officers right there. Weapons are out. They actually have the area surrounded, meaning just in case this guy gets out and tries to run. Apparently, there's some officers. Oh, there they are. everybody's kind of nearby. So if this guy tries to get out and run, then they're going to have that covered as well. The Costco parking lot, that's kind of interesting in itself. And if he was trying to draw attention to himself.
So let's go up a little
there you
bit.
go. How weird is language? And at least her body language is a little bit more open and discussing. And like I said, that I'm not sure about this guy, but for the most part, everybody had weapons out. Now we see less weapons out. See if this guy still got his gun out or her. Yeah, she does, but it's pointed down.
Look at this fool. Costco's going wild. Look at my man. Look what he wrote on the front of. People just snap. Why are people snapping in Costco's parking lot? Like, what type of demonic spirit is going on at Costco's?
Yeah, I'm all SOS on my phone, so I can't get any internet.
So let me fast forward a little bit, see if something.
Copy.
Look at my man smoking a cigarette. Look at my man smoking a ciggy.
Oh, maybe the smoking is part of your
What
problem.
is my
Maybe you
man
got
doing?
cancer.
It's like 10 billion cops out there.
Oh, there you go. How weird is that?
You
Just
just
mentioned it, and the comedian says the same thing, like
You just want
almost
to
right off
smoke
the
a
box.
ciggy.
Trippy.
My man is just smoking a ciggy. Let's see.
Into the bus, trying to figure out what it is. It is a bus. You think maybe this is like a little homeless, like part was to be there.
So let me skip ahead a little bit, see if anything happened.
I think the social worker has made her way up to the front.
Look like he put on his shirt. That's a social worker. Look, my man is crazy, yo.
Not enough. We should leave. Yeah, they got Coke now. Yeah, and a piece of pizza. You're the best.
So yo, why are people going wild at Costco's? Like what's up now? My man didn't get arrested or nothing like that, but what the hell is going on at Costco's that people are just going nuts? Now, this is why. Now I'm gonna put this on the screen, right? So you got shootings, standoffs at Costco's. There was also another shooting a month ago, at like maybe a couple months ago at another Costco's, right? Now, this is why I say, like, is there like some type of demonic spirit at Costco's today? Let me before I spill the beans, let me put this up on the screen. So before I spill the beans, so today, this is why I say, like, what the hell is going on at Costco's? There was a recall on this item right here at Costco's. So what the hell is so Costco's is in the news for all type of stuff. So Home Furnishings recalls Costco's two-step kitchen stepper. So they recalled a two-step kitchen stepper, and it says due to fall and injury hazards. So this is the kitchen stepper at Costco's. So if you own Costco, whoever is the CEO of Costco's, you need to get some holy water and cleanse. People People are dying in the parking lots, being chased by police, sitting there naked in the trailer smoking cigars, and then now you got a recall. So a couple people getting murdered, naked people smoking cigars and running from cops, and now you got a recall. Now it says kitchen. It says Costco two-step kitchen stepper. So I don't know if you can see that on the screen. Let me make sure you can see it on the screen. The recall date was July 31st. So they just recalled this item at Costco's. So if you're the CEO of Costco's, you need to break out the holy water, the garlic, the crosses, whatever you need to get the stink off you, to get the vampire stink off you at Costco's. Because like I said, people are getting murdered at Costco's. Like, I don't know what type of karma is going on with Costco's. People are getting murdered. And it's a damn shame, yo. Because I need to go to Costco's and get some ramen noodles. You know what I'm saying? I need my ramen noodles from Costco's and my soft pretzels. You know what I'm saying? All carbs, baby. All carbs. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what type of exorcist type thing that Costco's needs to do, but they're absolutely in the news heavy. Now, Walmart is usually the place where fights break out. So Walmart is like literally like boxing, or you know what I'm saying? But what the hell is going on at Costco's? Yo, leave a comment below if you got a Costco's card, if you actually go to Costco's. They're not bad. Now, after you go to Costco's, I'm gonna show you something else. After you go to Costco's, let me see, let me make this pop up. So after you go to Costco's, no matter what state you're in, you're probably going to need a drink. Now, speaking of drinks, in Kentucky, it says $9 billion Kentucky whiskey industry in trouble with waves of bankruptcy. It says is TikTok and tariffs to blame. So they're blaming TikTok. Now I don't know about TikTok, right? Now it says $9 billion bourbon industry in Kentucky. Now they don't know what's to blame, but it says, let me see something. It says multiple distilleries filed bankruptcy amid falling demand. So there's been a falling demand of whiskey. Now they're trying to blame it on TikTok. But to me, like, why would TikTok stop drunks from buying whiskey? You know what I mean? So why would TikTok is definitely a female app. Now, pretty much a lot of people drink whiskey, but isn't whiskey traditionally like men? So how would TikTok stop the money is what I'm trying to figure out. Like, I think it's Jim Beam. They make like this honey whiskey. Look, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm not a drinker like that, right? But I mix Jim Beam honey whiskey with like Wawa half and half, bro. And I'm not a drinker like that. So listen, I mix. Hold on, let me put it on this screen. I was just experimenting, right? And I mix I think it's Jim Beam honey whiskey, right? And I went to Wawa, right? I'm in Philadelphia. I don't know, all y'all don't got Wawas. I know it's like Wawa's like down south. Hold up, I look like a Chinese movie right now. Let me see if I caught up here. So listen, I went to the liquor store. I bought some Jim Beam honey whiskey, and this is just off the fly, right? And I think this is around New Year's. This is like New Year's Eve. I did this, right? Like around the holidays last year, right? And I went to Wawa, and they got half and half iced tea. It's half lemonade, half tea. So I went to Wawa, right? And I mixed the Jim Beam. I filled the glass up with ice, and I mixed the Jim Beam honey whiskey with the half and half. Yo, you got something there. If you got that, if you got like a taste for like just like you don't really want a Long Island, because Long Island is kind of strong, right? And you just want a little spiked lemonade, you know what I'm saying? Type iced tea type thing. Try that. You know what I'm saying? Definitely try that. And that's if you're 21. Make sure you're 21 out here if you try that. But that definitely was popping. So let me go back. So the whiskey industry is taking a little hit. Now, they don't know if it's because of tariffs or TikTok. So tariffs or TikTok. They blaming everything on TikTok. So they're definitely blaming everything on TikTok. Now let's go over to a little bit of politics. Let's politic a little bit about politics. Matter of fact, nah. Let's go over to the place where politics takes place a lot. Let's go over to DC. Let's shoot over to DC. What's going on in DC here? Let me see. So what's going on in DC? It says man killed outside DT hotel while protecting stranger. So I'm gonna ask you a question before I play this video. I'm gonna ask you a question. So leave a comment below or just answer this question in your head. Would you crash out for a stranger? So would y'all actually crash out for a stranger? So would you crash out for somebody you never met or somebody you don't know, right? Now, I know a lot of y'all dudes will crash out and for random women, maybe, but it could be a male or female. If you see somebody in a crazy situation, would you actually put your life in danger to crash out for them? Now, being that said, let's find out what happened here. Let's find out what happened. Let's find out why my man crashed out.
Making an emotional plea, demanding justice for her son after he was fatally shot overnight outside a DC hotel.
And new details emerging this evening about the circumstances that led up to that shooting and his heroic efforts to protect those from the gunman. Fox 5's Tisha Lewis joining us live from Riverdale tonight with more. Tisha?
You can see the cluster of cars behind me over my right shoulder. Family from all over coming to the victim's family's home. The family members telling us and identifying the victim as 28-year-old Akeem Torre. They tell us he leaves behind a younger sister and also his mother. They also tell us that his father passed away a couple of years ago. They go on to say he likely never saw the bullet coming.
So I have the mom here, of course, and, you know, she lost the dad a long time ago. So Akeem has been the man of the house, you know, taking care of his mother and his little sister. And he's a really good guy.
Yeah. Justice for my son.
And they took away something
for my son.
So important to this family. Somebody that is like the head help of this family, is the leader of this family.
Justice for my son. Those are really the only words Felinda Peters-John could manage to get out less than 24 hours after she says her son, Akeem Torre, was fatally shot on New Jersey Avenue Northwest last night. In fact, They say he died saving a complete stranger from harm's way. Family members say Torre stepped in to protect a woman who was a stranger before being shot outside the Yotel Hotel. The shooting reportedly took place in a parking garage. Family members say Torre worked in the IT field and was working to develop new apps. By Monday morning and afternoon, the family members poured into the family's home in Riverdale. We're told the family is from Sierra Leone in southern Africa.
This is how he was raised, as you see all the women. We were raised to respect women and fight for women. And he was such a good guy. We're talking about someone who he was a...
Now, you know I got a question. Listen, y'all watching this right now live, you know I got a question for you. Go in it, if you're watching this live now, go in the chat and just leave a yes or no. Would you crash out for a random chick? Because A, you don't know why they're shooting at her. So I'm gonna repeat that again. Would you crash out? Now this is for the fellas. Would you crash out for a random chick? Because you do not know why they're shooting at her, right? Now we want to send condolences because this guy lost his life. But this is an important issue. Would you crash out for a random chick? Because you don't know why the gunman. We don't know the full particulars of the situation. We don't know what type of situation it is, right? But in general, would you crash out for a random chick that you're not with or you don't know?
In IT, he was a project manager. He was really trying to build an app, taking all these courses. He didn't deserve it.
This is so sad, Tisha. What information do we know at this hour about a possible suspect?
Well, the suspect was reportedly driving a black sedan, potentially a black Honda. The suspect description is vague. He's being described as a man with dreadlocks, was wearing a white T-shirt and shorts at the time of the
A nigga.
shooting.
Damn. So that's wild. So like I said, leave a comment or go in the chat, or if you're watching this later, leave a comment. Would you actually, why is Vet Ramaswamy on my screen right there? It just stopped at Vet, right? So would you crash out or try to protect a random person? Now, this is for the fellas. Fellas, would you protect a random woman that you don't know? I'm going to say it depends on the situation, and it depends on what kind of gun I got on me. I'm going to be honest with you. It depends on the situation. Now, if it's a situation where some gunmen just randomly run up on all of us, yeah, we gotta go for broke. You know what I'm saying? But like, if you see a gunman across the street with a gun pointed to a lady, are you going to grab your gun and try to be a hero? Now, we don't happen in this situation, but like I said, fellas, leave the comment in the live chat, or if you're watching this later, would you crash out for a random chick you don't know? And like I said, in my opinion, it's going to depend on the actual situation. Whether I'm going to crash out for a random chick that I don't know. So it's going to depend on the situation. It's going to depend on the situation, because now a lot of y'all, I heard this come up before. A lot of y'all say that you would sit back and not do nothing. It's not my business. But if we're in a random parking lot and there's some chicks walking right there and it's just some gunmen trying to spray all of us, and if I can reach my gun first, like, you in the middle of the spray off. Now, if you see somebody with a gun in their head across the street, you might want to just lay back and call the cops. You know what I mean? I don't think you want to be Superman. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be Superman, no vest. So weigh out that situation. I know a lot of y'all, want to be real men, and as we should, but you gotta weigh the situation. You know what I mean? You definitely got to weigh out that situation. And I'm not gonna sit here and say I wouldn't do nothing. You know, you sitting, you see somebody with a gun in their head, and you sitting in the car with your Draco, your legal Draco. So I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know what I would do in that situation. Now let's see what's going on here. Let me see something. So let's see what's going on. Let's move on here. Yeah, I don't know if I would crash. I don't know if I would crash out of that situation, and I don't really know what's going on. She might owe somebody money. It could be anything going down. You know what I mean? So let's see. So let's see what. Now let's go into some politics. Let's see. Let me look at this one first, and then let's kind of get into what's going on. Before I give an opinion or say anything about it, I want to find out what's going on myself. So this, a lot of times, like my channel is live discovery news. I'm trying to find out what's going on, but I'm just doing it live with y'all. You know what I mean? hoodactionnews.com. Let's find out let's educate ourselves and find out what's going on live.
Well, at issue here, House Republicans' plans to redraw congressional redistricting, something we've been reporting on, and some Democrats are in Chicago now. Others are in New York State or even in Boston, and Governor Abbott wants DPS troopers to go after them. Fox's Casey Kristen has the latest from Chicago.
Those Texas Democrats will be speaking here in about an hour. Right now, we're outside the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 701 in Warrenville. That's a western suburb of Chicago. Not only are Texas Democrats here in Illinois, they've also fled to other blue states, including Massachusetts and New York. Texas Governor Greg Abbott has already warned that he will try to remove them from office if they don't return. And now he is ordering the Texas Department of Public Safety to issue warrants for their arrests. Here at home, Governor J.B. Pritzker welcomed those lawmakers yesterday afternoon, saying, quote, "This is not just rigging the system in Texas. It's about rigging the system against the rights of all Americans for years to come." This afternoon, we spoke with political analyst Tom Serafin, who says there is an ironic history of gerrymandering.
Two wrongs don't make a right. So two wrongs don't equal right.
Right here in Illinois.
They come to Illinois, the most gerrymandered state in the union. The reason Mike Madigan, the Speaker of the House, was in control for 40 years, the longest surviving speaker in the history of the country, is because he was able to gerrymander the state. 50 years ago, there were 24 congressmen in Illinois. We had 13 Democrats and 11 Republicans. Today, we have 17. 14 Democrats and 3 Republicans. The state has been gerrymandered to death.
We also expect some local politicians to join those Texas Democrats when they speak here at the Electrical Workers Union this evening. As you know, it is unclear how long this holdout is going to last. Reporting in Warrenville, Casey Cronus, Fox 26 Houston.
Okay, so this is the beginning of that, right? So I guess this is like the conclusion. So let's find out what actually happened. Now, to me, it just seems like both in this situation, like I'm not a super political analyst, but it just seems like both in this situation may not be exactly right. Like I said, two wrongs don't make a right. So let's get a little bit more information so we can understand. Because it looks like my man is ordering for the arrest. Like, is that too harsh? Now, let's see what's going on here. That says Texas Showdown.
And that's one of the big problems. A live look over Austin, Texas here behind me this morning, where Texas is in the news. And it's not just the redistricting that you might be hearing about in the headlines, but also infrastructure improvements not getting done, flood relief not getting released for those victims of the deadly July 4th flooding there in central Texas. And now all of that's on hold until those Democrats come back to work in Austin. On Sunday, Democrats flew out of the state to stop an effort to vote, and they're now taking political asylum in Chicago and in New York. At least 2/3 of the 150-member legislative body need to be present to pass the bill. But with 50 of them not there, that vote can't go forward. In response to that, lawmakers in Texas.
That's what's going on. So the first video, I was like, okay. So they fled town. So they need them to pass a bill. And they said that they don't bring their ass back, that they're going to get arrested. But who would be wrong in it? So this is the thing, right? Objectively, who would be wrong in that situation? Would it be the Democrats, state and town, because they don't want the bill to pass? Or would it be the Republicans trying to get them actually arrested over the bill not being passed? What's legal? Now, the one thing I can say is Texas is known for making up stuff as they go along. So if they get away, they might get away with getting these people arrested. Now, if you get arrested, what would you get arrested for? Like not attending the bill? I smell a lot of lawyers coming in this case.
Are going to make some changes. Republicans signed civil arrest warrants recently. Take a listen.
I have signed the civil arrest warrants. We will work with DPS to locate members.
Now they are trying to find them and get them back. This push to redistrict there in Texas is something the Trump administration has been championing all along, a move that would add more GOP seats to the House of Representatives overall. And in response, other Democrat-led states think California, New York are doing the same there. We're watching all of this as it breaks this afternoon here at the Live Desk. We'll have stories for you on this throughout the day. Also, our website, thenationaldesk.com.
So
they have not.
So we're going to. I want to see how this actually plays out. So are they going to get arrested? So leave a comment. Are these Democrats in Texas that won't show up so they can pass this bill? Are they going to actually get arrested? Is that legal? Is that actually legal? Right? That sounds like something that is going to be fought. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know what type of courts that they will fight that in. But if you know any lawyers out there, what type of court or what type of case, John Doe versus John Doe 2 or whatever, like what, Brown versus Board of Education, these versus laws. What law says that these Democrats can be arrested for state and town? Is it like a strike? Is it sort of like, how the unions go on strike? Is it that type of thing? Because this dude is trying to get them purely arrested. Now, I'm trying to figure out. Now, to me, it kind of seems like. So let me go back a little bit. Special showdown. So it kind of, let me just put that back on the screen. So it kind of seems like the Democrats are a little sore losery. So I'm gonna repeat that again. If you don't have, if you don't have enough people to pass these bills, or you don't actually like the bills, that means you're not in position. So if you're not in position, you're going to skate town. It's kind of making the Democrats look like sore losers. To me, overall, if the Democratic Party the Democratic Party has to re-gut itself and actually win. You got to win men over. You gotta win white voters over. You gotta win white men over. You know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna have to. The Democratic Party is gonna have to win some white men over. You know what I mean? So doing stuff like this is like a throwing a tantrum to me. So in this Texas showdown situation, what these Democrats are doing kind of seems like throwing a tantrum, but do you really want to get them arrested? Texas is trying to lay the hammer down. They want to bring them back and get arrested. But if you're not in position to win, why throw a tantrum? You have to build a better party. Now I'm talking to everybody in the Democratic Party. If you're going to win, you have to build a better. You just have to build a better brand. The Democratic brand is really weak right now. Is weak. You know what I'm saying? Because you have to build a brand that everybody likes, right? Everybody likes McDonald's cheeseburgers, damn near, right? So large portion of the population has been to McDonald's, right? Can't hardly not one person in the United States never say they've been to McDonald's. McDonald's has built a great brand over the years. The Democrats, the brand is really it's a weak brand. You know what I'm saying? Now, I don't know if it's we know it's the people in the brand, but like I said, I'm an independent voter. If you're going to persuade me to either join a party right now, if you're an independent voter, the Democrats are not persuading any people like me to vote for that party or even want to join that party. So you got two different parties. You got Democrats and Republicans, right? I don't want my taxes jacked up. So the general rhetoric of Republicans is to lower taxes, right? I watch each president go by, and I watch my personal taxes, go up and down depending on what president we have, right? So I can see raw numbers in voting for Republicans, right? Democrats, the brand is so weak right now. First of all, we had a Manchurian candidate, Vegetable Joe, president for a while, right? Then we had a lady trying to Russian be president and never answer a question, right? When you ask Kamala a question, she would just go on into a speech from a question. You know what I mean? You would ask her, do you know how to make apple pie? And she would go on in a speech about pizza, about eating pizza in the sunset, in the sunshine, like some BS, right? So, like I said, this thing in Texas, it kind of reminds me why I'm independent. So, that's my conclusion. This showdown in Texas it's a reminder to me why I'm independent. Two wrongs don't make a right. I said it right this time. I kept saying two rights don't make a wrong. Two wrongs don't make a right. You don't have the power and the leverage to overturn a bill or make the bill go your way or not even do the bill, right? The party is weak. You didn't put yourself in power. You didn't get the right candidate, didn't get the right people. These Republicans want to pass this bill. They got the right amount of people, they got the leverage. So you can't throw a tantrum and go to another state. You know what I mean? And I'm being super objective about this. You cannot throw a tantrum and go to another state. That's my conclusion. That's my conclusion about that. But like I said, if you want to persuade voters, Democrats, you gotta really pick some dynamic people. You know what I mean? there is people out there, you know, you gotta, it might be another 10 years, but it might be another 1,000 years before the Democrats actually find a dynamic person that's going to persuade everybody. This is the key to finding a good president. You have to get a dynamic person that's actually going to persuade everybody in the United States to vote Democratic. Like, that person is not out there. You know what I mean? They're trying to throw in a little bit of ratchet chicks. They're trying to throw in like the save the animal lovers, like Gavin Newsom and stuff like that. Bro, that's not going to work. You got to find somebody that's really good and really neutral. So I'm gonna repeat that again. The Democratic Party is going to have to find somebody really good and really neutral if they, you know, if they want to win back. So the Democratic Party is going to have, they're going to have to really find somebody really good and really neutral that can persuade the whole United States to vote for them. The Democratic Party doesn't have, they do not have this person now. You know what I mean? Maybe I should run. Maybe your boy Post should run. I definitely give a good speech, and I definitely will debate your pants off. And I got punchlines. You know what I'm saying? Got punchlines. But listen, this has been educational for me. As I started off this, you know, I started off this today. I don't think y'all want to go. I don't. If you going in the Costco parking lot, you know, beware. That's all I'm gonna say. If you go into Costco, make sure you take safety precautions and beware. Because right now, Costco's is cursed. You know what I'm saying? So let me put that back up on the screen. Let me put that back up on the screen there. So yeah, my man, Costco's is cursed right now. I don't know if you want to. I don't know if y'all want to go to Costco's. But now, if you started off with me in this live, 2 situations at Costco's recently. There's been one maybe like a year ago where there's been like shootings at Costco's, with just weird things are happening at Costco's, and there was a recall today on an item that I showed you earlier, right? So the item that I showed you earlier, it was a so the item earlier at Costco's, it was a Costco's 2-step kitchen stepper recalled due to fall and injury. So due to fall and injury hazards. So don't buy that from Costco's. They recalled it. You know what I'm saying? So Costco's is cursed right now. Shootings, recalls, crazy people stripping, getting chased by the cops. Be careful at Costco's and Walmart. Let's not leave. Walmart is super uber diabolical. You know what I mean? Remember the rapper The Baby started his whole rap career at Walmart. So you know Walmart is super diabolical.com out here. You know what I mean? But listen, this is your boy Post. And always, you know, make sure. Now, if you want to hit me up on Twitter. You know what I mean? I'm on TikTok sometimes. You can inbox me on IG. It's Post the Mogul. It's right on the bottom of the screen there. Post the Mogul. Now, if you want to know why my name is Post the Mogul, right? You know, it's just a nickname. You know, I do a lot of different things. I do business things. You know, I definitely can tell you how to formulate a business. You know, I do things like that, professional things like that, marketing. I do like music marketing, and I'm actually a producer. You know what I mean? Did a little rapping and singing also, so I can get your shit tighter. You know what I mean? So that's why I call myself Post the Mogul. I do multiple things in real life, and then also in real life, I'm a hell of a salesman, in case you haven't noticed. Now, this is hoodactionnews.com. You can check out, now also make sure you check out the merch. The link is going to be in the description for the merch. It's Hood Action News. I got hats, hoodies, buttons, and all type of things on there, cups. So make sure you check out Hood Action News on there. That's the brand, right? Now, I'm fresh out of Philadelphia. Make sure you stay safe, and I'm definitely going to try to stay safe because I'm in Philadelphia. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you tomorrow. I'm Izzo.